Hello, and welcome to our final event of Survivorship 2021. We're very excited to be here from the Barbara L. Posner Wellness and Support Center and the entire University of Maryland St. Joseph's Medical Center Cancer Institute to provide you with a week of virtual events for Survivorship Week. We know that survivorship, from the beginning of the event when Dr. Schlesinger talked of what the meaning of survivorship is, the true definition of survivorship, and that starts at the time of diagnosis, because we know that helping someone who has been diagnosed with cancer to be able to be as healthy as possible in body, mind, spirit, and in their relationships helps them as they begin the journey and go through the journey and recover from the journey of their cancer can be incredibly healing and help it all to go better and to help your quality of life, your side effects, your symptoms, your coping, your stress, everything that goes into a cancer diagnosis to be a little bit better. So we are really excited to have had Dr. Schlesinger explain that to us. And then our week progressed with beautiful talks from and art workshops from survivors. They've been able to give us, a very intimate look at what it's like to be a survivor, what things they went through, what things they learned, and they want to share with all of you and all of us, survivors, people still within their cancer treatment, people recovering from their cancer treatment, and the staff, the providers, the doctors, the nurses, the technicians, the administrative groups that work with all of you and us, helping us all understand a little bit more what it's like to go through the cancer journey and give us ways to heal from the beginning. Just now, we had a beautiful event from Marion Friendland, who is an artist and a cancer survivor and still going through treatment, and talked about how she was so aware. She had such a personal life and maturity from her life of being able to be aware of what it was to know from the start she needed to put self-care at the very top, to where another survivor, Victoria English Martin, told us that she didn't know that there would be so much work that she needed to do in her recovery and in her healing. And she knows that now, but she wishes she had heard that from someone, that maybe as much effort as she put into dealing with the treatment and saying, I'm going to be the best patient ever, that she then was able to know that for when that was all over, there'd be a lot of healing to do, and she needed to keep a little bit more of that vigor and that determination to let herself in body, mind, spirit, and in her relationships have time to heal and to adjust to everything that had happened. We had wonderful information from Lauren, our nutritionist, to tell us about plant-based diet and about mythbusters of common things that we get stuck in regarding nutritional information that's out there. We had great information from Jody Triple, our social worker, and from Dr. Moran, our psychologist, on ways to deal with coping with the cancer diagnosis and self-care, because being a caregiver and also going through cancer and the complexity that that can have with being maybe a mother that's diagnosed with cancer while you're still trying to be a caregiver to your children, or being an older person with cancer and needing to take care of your parents. We had wonderful talks with that. We had rehabilitation services tell us about the different things that can help with rehab, physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, to help with the common things that happen with cancer treatment, the side effects of fatigue, of brain fog, of peripheral neuropathy. So really excited to learn more about that and know that we can support you with all of those things, all of the things that are the Wellness and Support Center and the rehab services and throughout the Cancer Institute in an integrative oncology approach to your health and wellness. And we also heard from Kathy wonderful talks about the words that we use and how they create our reality, and about using aromatherapy. So we've been very fortunate to have an incredibly robust week of events for Survivorship Week. And all of that came along with the idea of being able to find your fierce spirit is your superpower, and how we want you to be your own superhero. And so how can we find that fierce spirit in you? And that's what we're going to do, a little yoga session today, and trying to find that voice and find that inner spirit so that you can be fierce and powerful. For joining me. We'll take some nice deep breaths first. So find a comfortable seated position. I love to sit on the mat with my legs crossed, but you can sit in a chair. Just be comfortable. Feel yourself planted on the ground, so your feet in the chair or your bottom on the yoga mat. Sitting up nice and tall, so the top of your head is reaching for the ceiling, so your spine is nice and long and in alignment. Your neck is relaxed but tall, so that this gives you area to breathe into the rib cage and into the lungs. And we close our eyes gently, we rest our hands on our thighs, and we take that first beautiful deep breath in, nice and deep. And hold it at the top. And then exhale completely. Push a little more and let that oxygen out of your lungs. And another deep breath in. Hold it at the top. Exhale out. A little bit more. Another deep breath in. Practicing those 3 deep breaths. Maybe count into 4 as you inhale, holding for 2 at the top, and exhaling for 4 or 6. Feels good. Do that 3-4 times a day. Do that when you feel a transition, when you are leaving work and getting in the car, or you're leaving the car to go into the house. What can help you to find some decreased stress response? That breathing can engage the relaxation response, give some good oxygen-rich blood to the brain, to the cells, to the lungs, to the belly, so that you can feel a little bit more relaxed, but energized and able to cope with stress. So when we do those breaths, we also are centering ourselves. We're kind of coming into a present moment where we're not thinking about the past. We're not thinking about the future. We're just present and centered to that breath. Called centering. And then we ground ourselves so that we can be aware of what we're feeling. So the idea is to notice your bottom, sitting in the chair or on the mat. Notice your feet if they're planted on the ground. As you breathe in, just have yourself scan your body and notice how it's feeling. This is grounding. Exhaling, letting go of any tension because you had a moment of awareness of what was tense or what your body was feeling, and you let it go. Now, the last part of our beginning of our yoga session, I like to do an intention. So what do you need during this session? What do you want to draw upon in an energetic way, in a language, and using your words to create your reality, to start to manifest something? And because we had a beautiful title, and I want to thank Lindsay very much for creating so much of this Survivorship Week, and the idea of your fierce spirit is your superpower. And so the idea of finding our spirit. So maybe what our intention today is to draw upon finding what helps us tap into that fierce spirit, into that spirit that helps us? Is it to be able to visualize it, to breathe into it, to just quiet time, quiet, or the movement? We're going to do some different things today. We're going to do some energy things that kind of increase and maybe energize us, and maybe that's when you tap into what that spirit feels like, or maybe when some of the calming things that we do that might help us to tap into that spirit, that fierce spirit. That's your superpower. We want you to be your own superhero. So welcome everyone. And because there's a few people that just joined, I want to invite you to take 3 deep breaths. Count as you breathe in, maybe to 4, and hold for 2, and then exhale for about 4 or 6. And let's do 3 of those. Again, that helps you get centered and grounded, and then gives you a moment of pause so you can find your intention. So now let's come into all fours so we can be on our mat. If we're in the chair, we can do this as well. It's the idea more about the breath. So our back is flat right now, or we're just sitting in the chair. And as we exhale, we round down. So you can round down your legs, or you can round here so that your back is arched, your head's falling between your arms. And then on the inhale, you arch up or you sit up. You exhale, round down. Exhale. Inhale, feel nice, significant arch and stretch in the low back and in the neck. Exhale, round down, let all that air out. Feel the upper back now, get a stretch. Now we'll come to standing. If you're on the mat, you can round your toes under, push your hips up, come into a downward facing dog for a moment, or again, just come to a standing position. Bending our knees and coming up to bring our feet between our hands, and then just slowly rounding ourselves up. And to get a little energy now, we'll do some lion's breath. So lion's breath is the idea of inhaling in 3 phases. So it's, and then a big exhale. And why we call it lion's breath is because we go, and it look like a lion's face, and that helps to energize and fire up some heat in us. And it helps to open up our throat chakra so that we can find our voice, find our fierce spirit, our super power. So we'll do about 10 of these. Keep going, very big and exaggerated as you can. Four more. And one more. And then as we roll ourselves up, we stand up in a nice tall mountain pose, we call it, or Tadasana, where we just let all that heat and fire and energy mix and mingle inside of our body and wake us up and open us up and do exactly what it's supposed to do. And in mountain pose, we want to think of ourselves as standing very tall. The top of our head is reaching for the ceiling. Our spine is long. Our feet are planted on the ground. All 4 points of the feet, which are the pinky side and the toenail side, the heel side, are all flat on the ground and even. You're not feeling any tension in one side or the other. So you have that nice base. And then you think of just growing tall and strong and vibrant as you stand tall like a mountain. And then feel that energy that you created. And now let's quickly transition into a balancing pose where we're a little bit more quiet. And maybe that's where you'll tap into what your spirit is. So if you need the chair, you can use a chair to balance. Use your arm to hold on to the edge of the chair, or the back of the chair. But we're going to think of all of our weight pouring into our left leg. Our right heel is going to lift and rest on our left ankle, or if we want to, can rest on our left shin or our left thigh. We're going to look at something in front of us that's not moving. We're going to engage our core, so we're drawing our belly button into our back. That means, and our tailbone tilts down a little bit. And I'm trying to feel the balance on my left foot, all 4 points of my left foot. Very wobbly today. But it's that idea of finding that balance. I want my right knee to kind of reach out more to the side, but my hips stay more to the front. So there's a nice stretch there as well. And then if I feel, I can stretch my tree branches up to the sky. I'd love to give the analogy of how my leg is a tree trunk, stable and strong, holding me. But in times I need to be flexible and flow like a tree. I can. And now let the mind quiet so that you can find that balance. Tap into whatever's needed. Just let your arms float down. Let your foot replace side by side. Go from side to side, kind of lifting those heels up to wiggle out the hips a little bit. And now let's work on the right side. I love to go between, and that's how yoga is, the left side and the right side and the left. The whole idea is to help create balance in the mind and in the body. And the breath is what helps us get there, because yoga is about a union between the breath, or a union between the mind and the body through the breath. So all of my weight now is noticed in my right leg. My left heel is lifting to touch my ankle, and I'm using the chair if I need to give me support and balance. I can stay here with chair or not, and then lift my arms. And I can also go between different places. Again, the chair with my left heel on my right shin, or my left heel on my right thigh, holding the chair, or if I have it today, I can feel myself stretch nice and tall. I'm going to check again through that little systematic process. How is my foot, my right foot? Taking a breath to notice it. Taking a breath to quiet the mind so that I can notice that foot and I can find balance there, release tension. Check in with my belly, pull it into my spine, tilt my tailbone down, take my left knee a little wide. Shoulders are relaxed, but my arms are stretched up. And I have the beautiful analogy of I'm as strong as a tree trunk that I can flow like its branches as life hands me the wind, blows the wind my way. My hands float down, my leg floats down. Take those little steps to ease out any tension in the hips. And then I'm going to go through ways that we can be doing our vinyasas or our flows, that you can either stay just standing or you can come down and do some of the mat work as you flow through that vinyasa. But do what feels comfortable for you and safe for you. So we'll do a nice deep inhale, stretching the arms up overhead. As we exhale, we fold down into forward fold or Uttanasana. Just let the head come down. Let yourself round your back. The idea really is to bring your belly onto your thighs, your forehead onto your shins. That doesn't work for a lot of people, but we try to get as far as we can. So we're down or forward folding. It's the idea of just having the reverse of what we usually are. There's just no gravity. Our head is able to get all the oxygen-rich blood it needs without any effort. And then as we inhale, we can take our hands up our shins. Our back flattens like a table. The crown of the head reaches for the front of the room. Just a nice reverse kind of position. And then we exhale, forward fold again. And from here, you take your right foot back and you stay there for a moment. Or if you want to go through a vinyasa, then you can take both feet back. On an exhale, you come down to a push-up. You roll over the tops of your feet into upward facing dog on an inhale. And then you exhale, downward facing dog. And then we want to meet everyone else where they were. So we take that right foot back up. I think I had you on your right foot. So we're here on our right foot. We're going to drop our left heel into warrior one. So wherever I took you, let's make sure we're all together. So the right foot is forward and the right knee is bent over the ankle. The left foot is down on the ground. You feel yourself pushing into the pinky side of that left foot, but your body is turning towards the front of the room or towards where your right foot is planted. This is a beautiful warrior one. You bend more, you hold the belly in, tilt the tailbone down, reach the arms up. Warrior, strengthening pose. Now we're going to balance a little bit. So we're going to lift that left heel, turn up into a warrior one, where you're on the straight right leg, your left leg's lifting up to the air, your hips are now facing down the mat. Your arms are forward or on your hips or out like an airplane. And we can bend that right knee. We can beautifully come back dead, laying down that left foot and finding ourselves flow into a warrior two. Now with the warrior two, your hips and shoulders are facing the width of the mat. Your right arm is over your right leg. Your left arm is over your left leg. You're looking over your right arm. And you're a warrior two. From here we can reverse our warrior. Take the left arm down the left leg, reach the right arm up. Look up at that right palm. Feel a beautiful stretch in that right side of the body. And we reverse this by doing a side angle, bringing the right hand onto the right knee, left hand up to the sky. This whole body is opening up to the left hip's reaching up for the sky. And even more of a stretch is to open up that left arm over the face. So there's a stretch from the toes all the way down to the fingers. Put that left arm up to the top. And then think about that left arm pulling us up back to warrior two. And then we can windmill our thumbs down on each side of our right foot, lifting up that left heel. And then we can come into a vinyasa again, or if you want to skip the vinyasa, just bring your left foot up to your right and slowly stand up. But if you want to go through a vinyasa, we take the right foot back, push up, inhale, upward facing dog, exhale, downward facing dog. Bending our knees, looking at our hands and bringing both feet up between the hands. Should all be together here now as we slowly roll ourselves all the way up. Scrunch your shoulders to the ears, shoulder blades together, back and down. Let's do the other side. Inhale, arms up overhead. Up over fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Now we take that right foot back and stay there and wait for us. If we want to go all the way down, both feet back. Exhale. Chaturanga Dandasana is called. Fold. Inhale, roll over your toes, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now you can take that left foot up to the sky and bend the knee. I don't know if I did this on the right, but this is how we get here. So we take that left foot up between our hands. So now all of us together, I need to reverse this a moment, but all of us together, and that we have the left foot bent, left knee bent. We're going to drop that right foot, maybe bring it out a little bit on the mat so that they're not right behind each other. We engage our core. And then we come up into our warrior one. So we're pushing into the pinky side of that right foot, bending into that left knee. Belly's engaged, so we're pulling it into our belly, but our spine, tilting our tailbone down a little bit. Hips and shoulders are facing the front of the mat where our left foot is. Strong like a warrior, our strengthening pose, our energizing pose. And now we'll try to balance a little bit. So we'll lift the right heel up and turn onto the toes. Think about pushing into that left heel as you bring yourself to a straight left leg. Straight right leg, hips are down, arms are forward, or out like an airplane, or on your hips. Your quiet focus, using the breath to calm the mind, feel the body. We bend a little bit of that left knee and drop that right foot in line with the heel of the left foot. And we open up into a warrior two. So here I have my left heel intersecting my right arch. I'm bending deeply into that left knee. My left arm's over my left knee, my right arm's over my right leg. My hips and shoulders are facing the width of my mat. Belly's engaged. So I'm strengthening my core. Shoulders are relaxed. My arms are really reaching out in both ways. Reverse my warrior by taking my right hand down my right leg, lifting my left arm up to the sky, feeling a beautiful stretch on my left side, really opening up room for all of my internal organs to do their job in metabolizing, detoxifying, eliminating. And take my left elbow onto my left knee, taking my right arm up to the sky. I'm feeling an opening now on that right, twisting open. The right hip's reaching for the ceiling, my right arm's reaching for the ceiling. I want more of a stretch. I can see if it's comfortable with my shoulder. I'll take my arm over my face, thinking of feeling a reach from my right side foot all the way up my right thigh, my right waist, chest, up my right arm. Deep, long stretch. While I continue to twist a little to the right, lifting my right hip and shoulder up to the sky, pointing up to the sky. And then I lift that right arm up to the ceiling, and I think about it pulling me up so that feels comfortable. Back to a warrior two. Adjusting and feeling this pose. Checking points of tension and letting them go. Readjusting as needed. And then I take my hands, I windmill them down to each side of my left foot, lift my right heel and turn onto my toes. I can then bring my right foot to meet my left and slowly stand up. Or I can go through a vinyasa by taking my left foot back to meet my right. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then we bend our knees, look between our hands and bring our right foot and left foot between our hands. Then slowly roll ourselves up to all meet together in a standing pose. And now we'll do another deep inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Let's come into Utkatasana or chair pose. So we're going to sit our bottom down in our imaginary chair. We're going to bring our weight into our heels and lift our arms up. Try to engage that core for some back and core strengthening. The arms reach forward. Even try to meet the ceiling and the wall where they come together. See if that's possible, but relax the shoulders as best you can. Don't arch the back too much. Try to tilt down a little bit. Then we can bring our hands together and noticing our knees, keep them in alignment. One will try to pop out on the other. We're bringing our right elbow onto our left knee. And we're twisting open to the left. If it feels right for you, you can even open that up a little bit more. Trying to make sure those knees stay near each other. One will want to go out further than the other, and better alignment is to try to keep them together. Bringing the hands back together, bringing yourself back to center, and standing up. Again, inhale. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Into chair, so we're sitting down in an imaginary seat as low as we can. We notice that the weight goes into our hips. Engage our core, keep our back a little bit tilted down, the tailbone tilted down, not arched up. We're reaching our hands up to where the wall meets the ceiling, but relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. Together in prayer, taking the left elbow over the right knee, and twisting over to the right. And if it feels right for you, opening up the arms, a little deeper stretch to where you're able to take the chest a little bit more open to the right. Again, all of this supports some movement within the body, the internal organs, so that they can do their job at metabolizing, detoxifying, eliminating, just the way they're supposed to. Bringing that right hand down to meet the left, bringing the hands back to prayer, and then slowly standing up. Look overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Now flat back. Fold. Now let's take that right foot back. Take your right foot back. Come to stand near your... This is a crescent lunge. We'll be in crescent lunge where we haven't put our right foot down. Now we're going to open up into warrior two. So we dropped our right foot down. And we're checking to see that the left heel is in line with the right arch. Our arms are out wide. We're going to straighten our knee now. Our left knee. We're going to take our left fingers and we're going to reach for the out to the left. Then we're going to take our hand down wherever it falls. Is it on our knee, our shin, our ankle, the ground, a block that might be there? And then we're going to reach our right arm up to the sky. Another type of twist. This is triangle, of course. Reaching that left up. It's a little deeper of a stretch. We're able to really bring that right hip up a little bit more. We're finding our fierce spirit in us, stretching in all directions. Out these sides, up and down. Out from our chest as we breathe. And triangle is the strongest geometrical shape. Buildings are created because of the force that a triangle is able to hold, that foundation. So we can think of our fierce spirit as being a triangle, and that can help us bear all the different weight and pressures and stresses that we get as gracefully as possible. and beautiful angles. Now we can take that right arm up, bend into the left knee to our warrior two again. Lifting the right heel up, turning on the right toes, bringing the hands down on each side of the left foot, and do a vinyasa, or let's just bring the right foot up to the left. Slowly round ourselves up. And you can stay there. I just need to change sides here so that it's easy for you to see all the positions. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left back. Exhale, forward fold. Bending the knees, taking that left foot back, coming up into then dropping the left foot down, opening up to a warrior two on this right side, bending into that right knee, straightening that right knee now. Taking the right hand out in front of you, down the right leg, opening up the left side of the body by reaching the left arm up, looking up at that left palm. I can't see you all, but I always like to say that it's nice to reach the arm out and then go up. I find that I get everyone in better alignment that way. Your left wrist, elbow, shoulder are on top of each other. This left shoulder is on top of the right. Sometimes people go way over there to feel a stretch in their shoulder, but we want to feel a stretch in the side body. We want to focus on that left hip opening up to the ceiling. Use your breath to quiet your mind. Notice your body. Use your breath to maybe tap into your spirit. What is that? What is it for you? Where is it? Say. Does it feel like? Reach up into that left hand, bringing yourself all the way up, bending into that right knee. Hands to each side of the right foot, lifting the left heel and turning onto the toes. Bringing your left foot to meet your right and rounding yourself up nice and slowly. One more inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Here we're going to bend our knees. We're going to find ourselves coming down. Hopefully you can be comfortable coming down onto your knees. If you need a blanket to put your knees on, please do that. Or you can sit in your chair if you don't want to come down to the mat. But we're going to go into Balasana, child's pose. I like to keep my thighs together, rest my belly on my thighs. Some people like to open up their thighs and bring their belly through their thighs. And you can also, then you just rest your head on the mat and you stretch your arms out forward. It's time to relax. Let all that you just did integrate, assimilate. As you're trying to come down more onto your heels, you might need a pillow there if it's too uncomfortable. But however you are positioned, try to feel the hips coming down, settling down onto the lower body. Try to feel the shoulders stretching out long.
Now bringing the hands up towards the head, using the hands to push yourself to sitting up. Then we want to cross our ankles, come over our heels, or however it works for you to get to sitting forward. Your legs are straight if you're on the mat, or you can be just sitting in the chair through this couple parts and still get a lot of the same benefits. So we're up overhead, nice inhale, reach our arms towards the front of the room, and then let our hands just fall down wherever they are on our legs or our feet so that we can do a forward fold and stretch the back of the legs. If you're sitting in a chair, if that's more comfortable for you, it's just folding over. You might not get the stretch in the back of the legs, but folding over is fine. Or you could still be standing and just do a forward fold. Release that. Just sit up. Let's come to lie ourselves down on the mat. So we'll slowly bring ourselves all the way to lying down. Our feet are planted on the mat. If you're sitting in the chair, please just find a comfortable seated position. You may not be able to do this pose, but just sitting there and doing the breath work is yoga. If we're on the mat, our feet are planted on the mat. Our hands are facing down on the mat. We're going to go ahead and lift our hips up. You may want to wiggle on those shoulder blades a little bit to get yourself under, your shoulders under a little bit so that you can pull your hips up more to the sky. We're giving a nice stretch to the psoas muscles, a reverse arch to the back, and kind of a shoulder massage you might notice. Keep pushing your feet into the mat, lifting the hips up. Try not to let the knees splay out, keep them a little bit together. If you really like this and your shoulders are comfortable, you can bring your hands together and roll a little bit more under your shoulders, lifting the hips up higher, pushing the heels into the mat, or the whole part of the foot into the mat. You can stay up here and stretch. You can go down and take a break, and then see if you can come back up again. And then let the hands go if they're together, or just start to roll the shoulders out if they're under, and then slowly bring the hips down and adjust. And everybody, no matter where you are, can now bring their knees into their chest. You can hold onto the shins or behind the thighs. I like to give a nice tight squeeze to these knees, to these legs. And I roll from side to side and massage the spine. But your knees may not like that, so please listen to that body. It's precious. And it responds to your loving kindness in little ways and all ways. Now we can take our feet down and plant them on the mat again. Let's leave our left foot down, but take our right ankle and put it over our left knee. We can do the same position in the chair. I want to check that my low back is flat, so I tilt my tailbone so that it pushes my back down. And then I take my hands and I take them around my left thigh. And I pull that left thigh in to give a great, great stretch to this right hamstring, this right hip and hamstring area. I'm pulling that in and I'm pushing the right knee down. Again, this can be done in a chair. Just take the positions and directions I gave you. If there's any discomfort, let it go in the sense of readjust or have a modification, which would be to just not go as deep. Maybe not push on the right thigh. Maybe not pull in as much. It's hard to find a nice balance, and there is a balance. There's a balance between a little bit of discomfort that's helping you get to a deeper place of healing, or there's too much. And I want you with yoga to learn that, to learn to listen to the body, to love the body and the mind, and whatever's needed. Today, tomorrow may be different. Listen to you right now. Be present. We'll drop that left foot down, release the hands. Right foot goes down. You can windmill, kind of let the knees fall to each side for a moment. And then we'll leave that right foot planted and bring the left ankle on top of the right knee. The hands go around the right thigh and we pull that right thigh in and we push on that left knee if it's comfortable to all open up the left hip and the left hamstring. That's where you're feeling it. And then we can drop that right foot down, bring the left foot off the right knee, and we can windmill a little bit again. Or we can bring the knees in again, nice little hug. Then we want to take our arms out wide, take our knees to the left, try to see if they lay down or they find a block or a mat if needed. If they don't go all the way down, that's fine. Just find what's comfortable. Now come over to your right shoulder, noticing it, trying to bring it flat. Don't let it come up too high if you can see me. And then take your gaze over the right hand. Your head is back to center, knees are back to center. We adjust if needed. Sometimes we like to lift our hips up and take them a little bit to the left so that we can prepare to drop the knees to the right. Check that left shoulder and now look over the left arm to stretch this side of the body. Head back to center, our knees back to center, hips up and now back down to a balanced place or centered place. Hug ourselves one more time. And now we're going to take our legs out long. If we're in a chair, then we just find a comfy sit all the way back in that chair and make ourselves as comfortable as possible. And then if we're lying down, this is our savasana. Either way, we're finding our relaxation pose at the end of our yoga session so that we can, once again, integrate, assimilate all the benefits of yoga deeply into our body in this quiet moment of intention. So, legs are long, arms are down the length of the body. We inhale to notice the body. We exhale, we release any tension. Let ourselves melt into the chair or melt into the mat. We're fully supported by them. our bodies can rest in them. We inhale to notice the mind. We exhale to release any tension or unnecessary thoughts right now. Focusing our breath on breathing in and breathing out. And the next inhale, start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Come back to the awareness of the room. And when you're ready, slowly come back to either sitting up on your mat or to opening your eyes while you're sitting in the chair. Taking a moment of pause to notice how your mind and your body feel. Taking a moment to thank yourself for being part of a yoga class. Taking a moment to recognize the love and care that you're giving yourself. Bringing your hands into prayer position with your palms together, your thumbs close to your heart center. Realizing that you found your fierce spirit. It's come through in ways that you noticed, or maybe you still haven't noticed, through all of the work that you do, through this yoga class, through your breathing, through your awareness. Your fierce spirit is there. Your superpower is there. You are our superhero. You are your superhero. So we end a yoga session with Namaste, which is the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you for being part of Survivorship Week 2021 from our Barbara L. Posner Wellness and Support Center, from the staff, from everyone that participated in it. Lindsay, thank you again for all of your hard work with all of putting this on, and for everyone that participated in hosting an event and giving valuable information, care, and compassion to everyone, the staff, patients. And thank you all very much. And I'm so excited about seeing everyone in person for Survivorship Week 2022.
Thank you so much, Jenny.